Hey, Matt Brown here, and this is Module 12 case study. A little bit about the study. Just focusing on a small rural community, just built a new middle school, and in this study, the new principal, Susan Potter, has been hired to be the new principal at this brand new facility, this brand new middle school housing grades 6 through 8, removing 6th grade from the elementary and bringing it up to an actual middle school. A broad-based committee determined the vision statement for the school. Efforts are opposed by teachers, and the principals should be doing this independently. So the principal is assigned 3 tasks to complete during the first year for Principal Potter to make decisions: staff size, recruitment, staff selection, organizing school programs, curriculum, extracurricular, and instructional approaches, and attend meetings involving equipment and furniture acquisitions. So for this mission, this vision, they selected a advisory committee, including 4 teachers and 4 community members that were assigned to it. The first task would be to develop a vision statement that reflect the collective core values and beliefs of the committee members and community at large. The committee would operate democratically, but a consensus would be preferred. Not required, but would be preferred. The committee decided they would rather have Principal Potter as the chair of the committee because they felt like she was the most qualified. And Principal Potter, she wanted to share the leadership in this, but she did not necessarily want to be the chair of it. They accepted that and voted Helen Burke as the chair, who was in favor of this new school. Okay. So the conflict in this situation is that Helen's brother, a school board member, thinks that Principal Potter should design the middle school philosophy and draft the mission and vision statements herself. And Principal Potter is uncomfortable with this since she is new to the community. She believes the vision and mission statements should include core values of all of the stakeholders, and she does not want the advisory committee to blindly approve whatever she proposes. She wants it to be, again, involving all stakeholders and to implement a vision that has the entire community's core values, not just what she believes. And Dan Kelby, a committee member, agrees with Helen, along with 2 other members. Only one other parent agreed with Principal Potter's suggestion, and the remaining members were silent. So the biggest thing right here is that they want her to come up with the vision for the school, and then she'll come back to him the next time they meet in about a week or so, and they will decide whether they approve it or not. And so a motion was made to approve Helen's preference, 7 votes for Helen's preference, and 1 abstained, which was Principal Potter. Okay, so this moves on to Section 2, which is the legal and ethical issues in this. Legally, I really didn't see anything wrong with it. It seemed like a fair vote, and that's just what the committee decided to do. So, but the ethical side of it, I felt like Helen Burke being selected as the chair provides a little bit of a conflict just because her brother is on the school board, and he already has he seems to at least have an idea of which way the school should go. And Principal Potter refused to take responsibility for herself of making a vision and a mission statement, even though it was voted on within the committee. There was no consensus on the vote, but on this, the consensus was not required. It was only preferred. And then finally, Principal Potter is expected to speak for all stakeholders, a community where almost half, if not more, than half the population was against building the new school. Okay? So moving on to Section 3 and synthesizing the case. This was the significant information for me, and Principal Potter is frustrated with the committee's decision to have her come with the documentation for the school's vision and mission statements. She wanted to include all stakeholders in order to reflect the school and the community core values. Instead, they expect her to decide that for all the stakeholders, and the advisory committee will approve or disapprove her decision. So again, the facts: new school built in a rural farming community. A large portion of the community was already against building the new school. Helen Burke, with the influence of her brother, wants Principal Potter to come up with the documentation for the vision herself and then come back to the committee to vote on. And Susan Potter again, unfamiliar with the core values of all the stakeholders in the entire community, so that makes her a little uncomfortable making the decision without working together with everyone. This is an important decision to make because in a brand new school, establish a vision statement before the school year. It's important. It gives the new identity to the direction of the middle school, and that can be instilling a strong vision and mission statement. So prioritizing information, this decision can affect teachers, the school, the community, the students, the parents. It can affect everybody. So my biggest conflicts here, other members are not speaking their minds. They were silent pretty much during the meeting. The committee voted against the principal's preference to work together, making a decision on a vision and mission statement in a community that the principal is unfamiliar with. And this is important because keeping in mind all stakeholders that could be affected by this decision is important. It really isn't and shouldn't be a one-person job. All stakeholders will be affected if the vision is not effective. And one of my favorite quotes in the articles we did throughout this course was, "Without a vision, the people perish." So my alternatives and potential outcomes. The first one I thought of, I could go ahead and just do it. Do what they want, and I'll come back to them and they can approve or disapprove, or disapprove what I come back with. This would please the committee, make the process quick. If they accept it, great, we move on. If they don't, we go back to the drawing board. The second option could go out into the community, talk to the individual community members, other teachers, and surrounding middle schools. With the short amount of time they gave her for this, it'd be hard to go out and give surveys, but she still could do quick surveys just kind of around the community and jot notes down to have that documentation. This would give her an opportunity give me the opportunity to feel like what the core values of the community has, what they believe in, what they believe is important, and what values of the surrounding areas have. And then my third option, the principal, I could sit down with the committee individually and get a feel for what they believe the core values are and still get that collaboration. This would give me a better understanding of what direction to take. Keeping the wishes of the committee in mind is important because that is what they voted on. In 7-1 vote essentially. As an administrator, it's also important to have integrity and continue to do what you think is right. And according to Aguilar, a head of school who is a community builder knows that they cannot implement a school's vision alone. And that's one of our biggest issues right here. So evaluating my options. Option 1, the pros. Everyone's happy, gets done quickly, task will be complete, they can move on. The cons, principal doesn't feel like what she's doing is right. Vision, mission statements may not reflect the community core values. Potter would take the fall for the poor vision if it doesn't succeed. Option 2, the pros. I get to learn about the community, learn about all the core values. I get to hear opinions from all the families and other teachers, and then I get to include others in the statement draft, which is what a true leader should do when drafting visions. And then the cons might upset the committee because of the vote they made, and the community may not support her. So still evaluating my options. Option 3, the pros. I can still get the committee involved. Collaboration takes place. The original idea is somewhat fulfilled. The cons, they may not want to meet with her. They may feel uncomfortable, except how the meeting went and how strongly Miss Burke felt about the principal doing it by themselves. Committee chair might be upset, and then might feel like she's kind of going over their heads. So, choosing my best alternative, I believe I would choose option 2, which was to go out into the community, get to know the people, talk to surrounding schools, families, and by speaking to the surrounding schools, I can get a feel for what their core values are, because in rural America, odds are there's going to be some similarities. There will be some differences, but it'll give her a nice feel for it. Gives me a chance to get out into the out and speak to the people of the new community, and this will give me some insight on the core values of the community. It also gives me an opportunity to show the community members that I care deeply about the new school, and I want to provide some direction for the school, especially when it's brand new, a new identity for the school. And it's important to get others involved in that process because my outside view may not reflect what the community core values are. And also I'd get input from the educators that are inside the school as well. And option 2 still gives the opportunity to collaborate with different stakeholders to help fulfill an effective and appropriate vision for the school. And from the Georgia Learning Institution, the principal and the SLT should work together to identify themes and data, and should use the themes to generate a list of shared values, which is one thing we're kind of missing from this. So, section 9. First, I would start by collaborating with all the stakeholders, take notes. Even if I have a short questionnaire, that would be a great thing to have just to keep for data evidence. And it would include other staff members, parents out in the community, as well as the superintendent, Mr. Rawlings. I would then reach out to other surrounding schools, collaborate with those administrators to see what visions those schools have. And again, it would give me a chance to compare the similarities and the differences between different surrounding areas. And I would use this information to draft a couple different visions and mission statements. And after the statements have been drafted, I could take them back to the committee for evaluation. If they accept it, process will be finished. But if they do not accept, we could start working together, and they would hopefully provide her input on what changes she needs, or what I need, sorry. And I feel like this plan would help the vision and the mission statement get the stakeholder collaboration it needs. A vision and mission statement needs to reflect the core values of all the stakeholders, not just a single individual's perspective. It also shows integrity for the principal. With integrity, you will do the right thing, so you have no guilt. So, in my reflection, this assignment gave me an opportunity to put myself in the shoes of a new principal in a pretty complex situation. It gave me the opportunity to weigh my options and figure out a solution to an important issue, which is creating a vision statement for a new school, which, again, provides core values and provides direction for a school. Even though the committee wasn't necessarily willing to help me at first, it gave me a chance to go out into the community and speak to other stakeholders. This, again, including community members, teachers, parents in the process, is just as important as the other committee members. Doing research over the core values in the community through collaboration will help create a more accurate vision that reflects the community. As a future leader, it will be my responsibility to model the vision of the school, and bringing the drafted vision back to the committee to communicate my thoughts would pull them into a discussion of the future of the new middle school. And here are my references.